Let's do it, bro. Hell yeah.
Hi, what's up, guys? It's Not Your Ordinary Barber with N.Y.O Barbershop.
What's up, y'all? It's CT Barber here. Now, today we have a special guest here. Introduce him, man.
I'm very lucky and very fortunate to have this man here on the podcast today. Hopefully, you guys tune in, watch everything, listen to what this man has to say. I want to be introducing to you Miguel, the owner of Hevie Enhancements. What up, Miguel?
What up, fellas?
Chilling. How's everything with you, man? Good?
Man, I'm glad we were able to put this together, man. I want to send a shout out to you and just what you're doing, because these are the type of podcasts that we need for barbers. And I think that the show's going to speak for itself if you tuned in.
Yeah, like the thing with this, and one of the reasons why I started the podcast was for a couple of reasons. The first one is a lot of people don't take barbering, don't look at barbering as a profession. They don't take it that seriously. And one of the other reasons why is to get a lot of these barber stories out. You know what I mean? Let them know where they came from, how they started out, and to educate.
I'm gonna tell you right out the gate. Barbers don't take this industry as seriously because there's a breakdown in the industry. A lot of shop owners will tell you, I opened up a shop just so that I don't have to work for nobody. They didn't open up a shop to groom barbers to be ready for the next level. They're happy collecting some rent, cutting all their clients and keeping everything they make. And there's no education in how to run a successful barbering roadmap to take a barber from the entry-level school all the way through that process to shop owner, educator at a school institute or his own institute, etc., etc. There's a roadmap in this industry that got lost throughout the way because barbering got separated from the medical profession.
Yep.
On average, I service 10 to 15 clients a day in the barbershop setting. And the frequency of those clients is faster than their doctor and dentist combined on an annual basis, which means they see me 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 30 to 1 on both their doctor and dentist combined. And we don't stop to think about that. Instead, we tie our profession to the hip hop community because when you go back to the 80s, you see that barber in the music video.
Yeah, 100% right. Now, we're going to bring it back just a little bit before we get into all that. I want to talk about you. I wanted to talk about how you got into the barber profession, how you got started, and how long ago it was, and how long you've been in the game.
Well, I gotta tell you, man, this goes all the way back to the late 80s. I'm in my 40s. And I think for me, I fell in love with the straight razor first. I realized quickly that tool was very powerful and that I was able to do hot towel razor shades at a young age just due to the nature of my grandfather's beard. And then I started doing all the old men he used to hang out with. And then before you know it, it went from a straight razor to shears to clippers. And then every Christmas, birthday, I don't want toys, I want tools.
Yeah.
And it just evolved from there. I mean, it got to the point where I was in my first barbershop by the age of 15. Shout out to Street Gang. Shout out to shops like Cutting Edge and Knickerbocker in Brooklyn. Man, we were all kids in there, man. It's crazy. Everybody in there was 16, 17, 19, 20, and it really, when I look back on it now, looking at everything we've accomplished as a brand, I couldn't imagine this 30 years ago, 32 years ago, actively just pursuing the next meal. Like for me at that particular time, cutting hair, the idea was a hustle because I was doing it at home, but I was always thinking about just trying to make enough money to sustain. And I realized that the more focus I put into it, the better I got at it. People were willing to come back again. And at that time, I was charging $3 a cut. Niggas are knocking on the door at 11 to 4 o'clock at night for a $3
It's been a while.
Yeah, bro. We're talking about the early 90s, 90210 fucking. I remember popping Biggie's tape, doing a ball fade to it, thinking, all right, let's see what this motherfucker talking about.
That's it. Now let me another thing. All right, so you started a long time ago, right? Now, aside from pricing, what changes, what major changes have you seen in the industry so far from back
Well,
then compared to
the
now?
biggest contribution to this industry has been social media. You see, social media has put barbering in a position where you have sports figures, comedians, uh, different different politicians who all have to get groomed by somebody, right?
Yeah,
And so there's all these advocates now pushing and highlighting how important barbering is to their communities. We got basketball players saying, hey, he got his first therapy session in the chair and didn't even know it,
yeah,
right? And we got other barbers saying if you and we got other people saying if you're not paying your barber at least $100, it's not worth what you're getting. Now, I know some people whipping ass for 40, $50 a cut.
yeah, facts.
But again, those are the people that understand I don't have to slice you once, I can shear you forever.
Yeah, that's
You know,
true.
when you
I got
get to
you.
the $100 price point, it's not because the haircut is $100. It's because you've built the service between the hot towel, the straight razor, the enhancement, the finishing products, the appointment time, just your delivery as a barber and confidence through your strokes and your movements. That client feels so confident that he's about to get blessed because there's no sense of misdirection in his ability to execute the style that the client's looking for. And so that fetches a higher price.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. Now going back again. Now you started your own brand, Heavy Enhancements, right? What made you want to start, or what made you want to get into that?
Well, let me go even a step further because this is stuff people don't know. But Heavy didn't start as an enhancement brand. Heavy Heavy started as an application that's coming to market on iOS and Android. Um,
Yeah, I follow.
Heavy.com.
There is another page for it that I do follow, and it's Heavy Enhancement app on Instagram.
Right. So I got the Heavy app that's coming that we've been building since the beginning, and then throughout the process of building it, we had a bunch of products that we wanted to release, and so we released them to then try to grow the name of the brand in conjunction with the application being built. If I can demonstrate a certain level of confidence in your abilities to apply color with the proper preventive maintenance, the application, everything that you would need, all the tools to accurately apply that color and then do it daily, weekly, monthly, confidently that your system's not going to break down and you can charge for that. Then just imagine what I could do for you on a digital platform where I'm not only teaching you the business of barbering through my color and how to add more money to each service, but I'm also going to now show you how to truly take control of your own destiny. And
Correct.
that's all I'll say about the app. It's gonna be like it's really gonna be biblical.
Now I want to touch a little sensitive subject between barbers. You have some barbers that feel that um, they should be doing 2 to 3 haircuts in an hour, charging about $30 a haircut. Then you got some barbers that are saying that they feel like they should, haircuts should be even up to $100 a haircut.
Well, let's
Um,
let's let's do this, right? We gotta
mhm,
first understand that barbering is so beautiful that you have all these different people winning with different business models. You got a kid that
yeah,
cuts nothing but special needs and senior citizens. He don't charge less than 75. He doesn't use color, doesn't use a razor, and doesn't work past 3 o'clock. He makes $250,000 a year. You got the guy at the barbershop who really doesn't use color. He uses a little bit of a razor if you ask for it. He might upcharge the service, but his job is to come in there and brag about doing 25 haircuts a day as fast as he possibly can. And there's really not a lot of quality behind that because you can't shove quality in 15 minutes. Quality,
thanks.
quality, quality plus, experience, experience plus refinement equals quality, right? And so, yeah, there's some barbers that can do a 15-minute, 20-minute stage presentable
Fade.
haircut and beard like a guy like
Passable, yeah.
Chadzilla. Yeah, shout out to Shockzilla down there, Dappers, right? That
Yep.
that little Ali, you know Ali. Ali will jump on stage and smack somebody in 15 minutes with a ball fade, the beard, and the color. But that's
Right.
That's
not
true.
the industry.
Correct.
So the guy who's trying to do 15-minute ball fades and beards after the 20th one, he's not giving it the same attention of that one you're doing on stage. After 6 days a week, 7 days a week, every weekend, 52 weekends a year, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. There's no days off on the weekends for the barber because that's where the money's at. The money's on the weekends. Our
Weekends and
weekends,
holidays. And
right?
holidays.
So you got to run out of steam. You're not going to think about this. Think about how miserable you would be after being exposed to what you know now about the barbering community. If imagine
Correct.
not getting no education. Imagine somebody
Mhm.
taking 50% of your money and you're doing 30 haircuts a day, or you're paying $150 a week. You're
Oh,
paying some booth rent, and there's no
right.
education. You don't know if you're gonna get shot at work from one week to the next because there's just no structure there.
Facts.
Whether you show up or not, they don't care. They just want to eat your clients when you don't show up.
Mhm.
Right? So when you take barbering, there's so many different ways to make money. You got the barber who just wants to be a celebrity barber. He does one haircut a week, and that's enough money for him to sustain.
You got
Okay?
barbers that don't even want to be in a barber shop no more. They want to open up a
Right?
little
You got the
suite and
house
work by
barber, the
themselves.
guy who says, fuck it, I'm
You
gonna
know?
go to the garage like me. Look, I'm in the garage. I cut hair out of my house. There's my station right
I
behind me. It's
see.
a mess in here. But I cut out of the house and it allows me the flexibility to take. I can have 5 clients a day, but they don't have to be back to
Mhm.
back. I can schedule my day between them and I never need a day off. I always just get the time off I need. And if we got to travel with the brand, I can still do that. There's no wrong answer. There's so
Yeah.
many different
Facts.
ways that you can survive. I mean, we got guys going mobile where they go door to door. We got guys that go door to door with a fucking school bus that's got 5 chairs in it. And they pull up at a party or whatever. They're doing ball
And
fades
we was
right
talking
after the
about that
concert at 2 in the morning.
and we were talking about that the other day when we were talking about how, like sometimes you have somebody with special needs. I actually had a barber here, a couple days ago. There was
He,
an older gentleman.
yep,
He can barely get out his car.
he offered
And
the
we
service.
opened the
Yeah.
door, we sat him down, gave him a haircut, but then afterwards the barber's like, "Look, listen, you don't live too far. I have no problem going to your house if it's such a hassle for me to come over and give you a haircut,
Facts.
for
And
you to come to the barber shop."
they're gonna save that client 12
Yeah.
hours out of their day, getting them out of the bed, into the wheelchair, to the shop. Figure out who's gonna cut
Facts.
it. Because when
And
you
not
open the
even that,
door with
like
a person
his
in a wheelchair, everybody goes, "No, not me. I'm not cutting it."
nah, his
So,
reaction was great though. Like he was surprised that he told him that.
and let
Nobody's
me
ever
ask
said
you,
anything like that to that man. That's why. So he was surprised. He was like, "Wow, that's amazing."
right?
Yeah.
And that
Now
would be great because
imagine,
I only live a block away.
you got a new kid out of school. You with a guy like that, he just wants to see his face again. His wife is like, "Yo, he hasn't had a haircut in 6 months. Shave his face, shave his head,
Yeah.
take him down to the grain." Right? That's the perfect
Right.
job for an entry-level kid out of school. Go over there, make $150, and don't leave until she bakes those 12 cookies for you.
That's it.
And you can set
There's a
up,
lot of
barbershops can set up that mobile dispatch. Make an
well,
appointment. We come out to you.
we were thinking about doing something like that too, and I explained it, and I kind of brought it up to like with the college kids, because over here, your first year of college, you're not even allowed to bring up a freaking car to campus,
Hey, listen,
right? So a lot of them get stuck out there.
college students are the worst people to market to. You know why?
What? Why you say that?
They're all broke. If they got money for a $50 haircut, they got somebody paying their tuition.
Well, yeah, of course,
I'm
100% right.
telling you, the best way to cripple college students is you got to drop the price and make it a free fall, because a lot of them honestly don't have the money. A lot of them don't.
Yeah.
Some of
So
them
think
do,
about it,
but a
right?
lot of them are
Let's say
broke.
you pick, let's say you pick your slowest day of the week, which is probably a Wednesday or something like that, right? Or a
Right.
Tuesday. And then you offer a discount to these people, and hey, you know what? You got no way to get here. Let me go out and pick all you guys up all in one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
There's nothing
absolutely.
wrong with that too.
Absolutely.
No, and most of them are like
I
athletes
always,
too. Like they play sports.
I tell all the Uber drivers that I know that if somebody's looking for a barber, if you bring them to me, I'll give you $10 cash just for bringing them to me.
So, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
we got we got somebody who hands out cars and talks about the barbershop, and he's a taxi driver, you know, and
right.
everybody
Taxi
that works in the
drivers are the
taxi service.
best. They see
Yeah.
everybody, just like we do.
Yeah. Matter of fact, I got a girl that's training right now. Right, she works in Dunkin' Donuts. You know how many people go and get coffee in the morning? I'm trying to get her to put business cards inside every bag, you know, and things like that.
Word,
Just while she's handing them out, while she's
word.
handing, doing her job, you whoop, throw a business card in the bag. You know,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, but you got
how
to
many
do a
people?
collaboration. You know, you got to offer people something that that helps them want to help you.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and so
Yeah.
when I deal with businesses, I always ask myself, what can I do to make this good business? Like, you obviously bring something to the table. I want to have access to that, and maybe in conjunction for all your employees that come and get serviced by us, we can honor a 50% discount in exchange for that exposure.
You know what I tell some of these guys too. When I first started, I was the only one in the area with punch cards, right? So I had punch cards where you would come, get 9 haircuts with me. At the 10th one would be free, you know, and people took to that real well. You know what I mean? Where
Yeah, because
literally
there's
I'm sitting there
this is
punching the
something they're
cards.
gonna keep punching. Listen, even if you listen, this is how I justify it. Even if
People
I
love this
died,
stuff.
even if I died tonight, tomorrow my clients after figuring out, damn, shit, this is fucked up. They're
Get
gonna
another
figure out
barber,
who's gonna
yeah.
give them another haircut.
Yeah, you don't
They'll
even
talk
gotta
about
die. So
who's
all you
gonna
gotta do is
walk
be booked up. All you gotta do is be
in.
booked up on a Saturday or on a Thanksgiving. They're gonna find a way to get a haircut.
Facts, man. And so I think we need to get away from how we view the industry and start focusing on the business of barbering. What is the business of barbering? The business of barbering isn't working on a fade and buying 10,000 tools to do one fade. That's not going to
Yeah.
bring no more value. Your clients never stopped you halfway through the haircut and said, yo, stop using those walls on me. I told you, gammas only or Andis only. He ain't doing that. He ain't doing
That's
that.
true.
But the motherfucker got 25 tools on the station to do the job of
Every single tool that comes out, he's copying it.
you ain't
Every
lying, but
tool
he
he's
ain't
coming
getting
out.
no more money for it. None.
That's true. There's nothing
Imagine
wrong with
walking.
buying tools every now and then,
Yeah,
but every single tool, that's
yeah.
crazy.
Imagine walking into your doctor's office and he got 50 fucking drills lined up against the wall. He's just telling you he just likes collecting drills. You like, yo, doc, what are we doing, bro? I thought you said this shit was routine, bro. Why you got 50 fucking drills? Call me back when you figured out which one is the best.
But he got gold ones, he got black ones.
Right. Motherfucker got diamond encrusted. It hit me with that one, doc. I'm feeling like platinum today.
Yeah, right.
So
All right,
I
so
think
let's talk about the business. Let's talk about the business of barbering, right? Yesterday, I mean, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry,
no, go
but
ahead,
yesterday
please.
I was watching a live, right, with Marvy Marv and Victor De Leon. He owns a barbershop in Texas. He has 12 barbers, a commission-based barbershop that's bringing in over $1 million a year.
Of
It's a
course, because
barbershop.
they're selling
Barbershop.
product. Listen to me.
Thank you.
I
So
guarantee
let's
you,
go.
if
Let's get
you
into that.
I guarantee you, if you open up his books, he's selling a shitload of product. Because product is something that doesn't require more of your time. Once they know you have it, they're just exchanging cash for you to hand it to them. Look.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If I'm selling you a can of pomade that costs $20, every time I hand it to you is $20. If $20 in most cases is 50% of the ticket. Imagine adding another 50% of the ticket to the ticket every time you hand them a can of product. And they believe you and trust you because you instill the confidence for them to even exist throughout society. They don't like moving through society without that haircut because they know with that haircut, they possess a higher level of confidence as they interact with people at work, interact with their spouse, interact with their girl, interact with a chick at the bar, interact with the congregation. So, or even interact with their friends and family members. They want to be fresh for
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. 100% right. Now, haircuts were. I think he said it were like $35 or $30 a haircut. Um, so it wasn't outrageous prices or anything like that. So, obviously it had to be, who knows how many haircuts these guys are doing a day, but
But you got to
he
also
actually showed
understand
receipts, he showed his books.
he's developed a team. I bet you if I line up his barbers, he doesn't have an all black barbershop. He doesn't have an all Puerto Rican barbershop where even the ego and the personal, I wouldn't put 12 of me in a barbershop. We'd be out of business. It wouldn't work. We'd kill each other in there. But if you put a white guy, a black guy, a white girl, a Puerto Rican girl, a Mexican girl, a gay guy, whoever, you put a mix of all these people, they start sharpening each other in more ways than one. One, I get to watch the black guy do waivers. I get to watch the white girl do the shield work. I get to watch the gay guy just be in a good mood and interact with people, fuck up haircuts, and get tipped
That's facts.
beautifully. Like, god damn.
And then what happens? Then you got the little white girl doing waves. Then you got the dude that was only doing
And
waves that didn't know how to
everybody's
use scissors, learning
sharpening
how to do
everybody.
scissors. Yeah.
And then we're selling
Everybody
product.
learning from each other.
Everybody's learning. And everybody's holding each other accountable as a team.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Even when you go on vacation, you know that I'm gonna take care of some of your clients, but whether they come back or not, who gives a fuck? That's your fault. If you let me cut one of your clients and you go on vacation and you've been a little lazy on his haircut, and I bless him, and now he wants to service himself with me because he sees I put a little bit more focus behind my cut. Instead of getting mad about it, do something about it. Level the fuck up. Stop going on vacation. Stop letting these barbers get, you know what I'm saying? Those clients don't belong to me until they sit in the chair. For that 30 minutes, 45 minutes, whatever the service time is, that's when he belongs to me, and that's when I'm gonna give him my all. But if he got out of my chair and the following week he was in your chair, I'm not gonna be heartburned about that. I'm gonna look inside myself and figure out, why did that happen? How can I fix that? How can I bring a certain level of humility to the game when all you do is instill confidence? So now your own personal ego is so fucking crazy. We can't even tell you to sweep the floor without you having a fucking meltdown.
Yeah, it's true. No, it's very true, man. Like sometimes people's egos just, it gets in the way of so many things, man.
To build a $1
Yeah.
million business, you got to give those people the vision on how they're going to build their $1 million business. The only way I can respect your business is if I know you're doing good business and you teaching me the way to do good business in the future. If I don't feel confident that you as my superior is someone that I can learn from and I can grow from, or maybe you don't even care. And in most cases, they don't even care. It wasn't until Booksy told them they were making 100,000 that they actually figured that shit the fuck out. Like, wow, honey, look, I actually am worth 100,000. I told you I was a six-figure nigga. I told you I was a six-figure nigga. The
Yeah.
fuck? You got an app telling you make 100 bands because everything else before that was cash in, cash out, daily basis. You never had time to count it. You just living in and out of your pocket every day.
Now let's go back to that. Now you said these apps, right? Now I want to say probably 90% of the people that use apps now did not use apps until the pandemic, right? So how do you feel about how everything has changed after the pandemic, where they had a shutdown, and like how do you feel that the prices of haircuts, the way people are being serviced, the industry, whether you look at it or not, after the pandemic changed, man, it took a big turn. You have customers at first they were kind of complaining about the pricing because, for 15, 20 years, haircuts were $15. And then
Well, you
because they
see,
had
here's
another
what
$10
happened.
on top of that.
Here's what happened. But before the pandemic, there was a certain level of neglect because not everybody understood how much money was involved in barbering. The pandemic happened, and everybody who was cutting hair made a fortune and put on weight. We got people standing in line for food and water and support from the government. And here these barbers smacking $100 tickets 7, 8, 10 times a day. So
Yeah.
so 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 now it also put a spotlight on essential personnel and why we were considered essential personnel. You know,
Why
we
why
weren't
we weren't because if
we weren't
that we
because
weren't because we
nobody's
had to shut
reporting.
down.
Nobody's
Yeah,
reporting. Right.
No, yeah, exactly. Nobody was what exactly. Nobody was reporting, so it didn't seem like that. So let's say out of 100 barbers, you might have had 2 people that actually did taxes and stuff like that. So the government's probably like, well, barbers really don't freaking exist.
Yeah. So only the liquor
You
stores
don't
open.
exist
The
in the government's
Walmart's
eyes if you're
open.
not doing taxes. If you're not
Right.
doing
So
taxes, you're not doing things like that. You don't exist in the government's eyes.
right. So now you got this industry that's exposed how much money it's making through Cash App, Zelle, Venmo, Booksy, The Cut, all these different
all together.
platforms available that are
Yep.
then now putting you in position to say, this is how much money we make. This is what we got going on. This is where the industry really is. Where the where's the money? And now you got
Hmm.
all these brilliant minds that target those big industries. Look at what Uber did to the taxi business.
Yeah,
They put
destroy the taxi
technology
business.
behind these businesses and pretty much buried a
Took
bunch of
over.
it. How many taxi services you knew on the come up before Booksy? Where are they now?
Back in the day, they used to have to pay us X amount for their license, right? And then you were able to take that license or that permission to, for the what was it, the taxi limousine commission, right? You were able to take that license and then sell it for quadruple what it was worth because they weren't giving licenses to everybody.
Right. And so
So imagine
go
so
ahead.
imagine you were maybe I don't know, maybe your father or whatever it was, right? Went and bought into the taxi business, okay, with the idea of, okay, when I'm ready to retire, I'm going to take this license and sell it for what it's worth, which back then was probably over $100,000. And then all of
Right.
a
The
sudden
medallion.
Uber comes out and smashes that.
Yeah, and eradicates a multi-million billion-dollar business across the
Yeah.
country, around the world, taxiing. They pretty much put Uber in every. You could go to fucking. I mean, we were in Italy catching Ubers. We were in Amsterdam catching Ubers. We were
Everywhere,
in
The
bro.
whole
fucking.
world
We in
has
Mexico catching
Uber now.
Ubers.
Everywhere. That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
But
Puerto
think about
Rico
it, man.
catching
Like,
Ubers. And so I think that the brilliant minds that are out there are working right now. We see a video of a computer cutting a hair and we laugh and go, ha ha ha, that'll never happen until they figure out and watch enough YouTube videos all you fresh barbers are putting out on stroke motion, bulky areas, ball fade techniques, shear work techniques. Yo, they could teach a fucking computer to do it and take that money out from under us.
they
Imagine
got
if they
somebody right there, listen, watching those tutorials going like this, typing it into a computer program.
facts.
No, I agree
Facts and,
100%.
and teaching the artificial intelligence on how to repeat that process over and over again without a break, without closing, without talking, without having a life. I mean, this machine just does it all day long perfectly. It never takes a day off. I'm gonna be good. They're
Like
gonna ask for heavy enhancement to put in those machines.
you're gonna be straight with that. Facts. You're gonna be selling it by the freaking gallons.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. I just got a call from the barber plug. You guys know the barber plug? Shout out to Devontae
Yeah,
from
yeah,
Texas.
yeah. Barber plug. That's what's up. They
He
got
wants to.
they have a show on YouTube also where
Yeah,
they have all these, like celebrity barbers. They go out there and they do clipper shopping pretty much.
yeah.
So they'll go into the
He wants to collaborate on a brand on the bottle. He wants to collaborate on a on a label that has both our brands on it. And you know, I wasn't opposed to it. Um, but I don't know if even that's the right move. When you got brands out there that are so big that see the potential in our brand and they calling out wanting to collaborate in ways that now he goes from a distributor to now a co-associate on the bottle. That speaks to the velocity in which we're moving. We got a lot
Yep,
of
and makes you sit
sharp
back and think of
barbers
what
out
you
there
got.
using color.
It makes you sit back and actually think about what you got. Like running. I mean, I don't have my own, like enhancement brand or product line or anything like that, right? But I wanna I wanna kind of, talk to you about what goes into something like that. How much work actually, goes into pushing a brand, going to these shows,
Man, you
getting your
have no
product into
idea,
every
bro. You have no idea the level, like how invested someone is. You know, starting a brand, just the administrative side of it, dealing with, things like, I'm in Virginia, so I got the Virginia Employment Commission. You got the Virginia state taxes. You got you got everything, sourcing material, how you source all your products, all your ingredients, all the things that you need. You know, how are you going to maintain production? Who's going to maintain production?
Yeah.
Checks and balances of everything across the board, shows, inventory, cash flow, growing the business and scaling it and refining it as it grows. That takes a team, bro. You gotta have a team. I got a team. I got a strong team. Just like that barbershop that cracks $1 million a year, it's not $1 million barber, it's $1 million barbershop. Collectively, everybody brings a quarter million to the table, 100,000 to the table, and even the guy who has a $10 haircut brings a $30, $40 service to the table because he's learned to negotiate the business of barbering through selling products and adding black mass peels or a little facial where you scrub his face with the machine.
Mhm.
And I teach you step 1 through 5 so we can put $10 on that shitty fade you got because you just got out of school. It's understandable. We all been there.
And that goes back to like what we were saying before, how you build a team. Sometimes, it's sad to say, man, but sometimes you get barbers that are so individualized, right? That they're set in their ways. They're not busy until Thursday. So Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, they don't want to come into the barber shop to work. It makes it very difficult to build a team unless you're actually training somebody.
Yeah,
You understand what I'm
when
trying to
you
say?
when you're building a team, right? And I tell you, when you building a team, it's just like putting a band together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I think of a band, I think of every instrument that they put on that stage to collaborate and bring that unique sound to the team that creates beautiful music. Is poetry in motion. It makes you want to dance. I don't care if it's salsa, I don't care if it's reggae, I don't care if it's reggaeton, I don't care if it's hip hop. Whatever it is you bop to in the car on the way in and out of work or whatever gets you through that workout, whatever gets you through the day.
Yeah, we
I
lost
keep trying to call back now. And so my son is trying to FaceTime me right now. The worst time. Can you guys got me?
Yeah, we got you.
So I think it's so important that um, that the team be right. Once if you got the right team with the right formula and everybody's driven on the goal. A lot of people say, well, not every barber wants to cut on stage. Not every barber wants to travel. Not every barber wants to do color. Not every barber wants to. That's fine because there's everybody, but there's a certain level of uh education that's going to be required for his goals.
Yeah. No, very true.
It's important we sit down with all the barbers and you tell me what your 5-year, 10-year plan is. Because if this is the last stop for you, then you truly ain't aiming too high. Your barbershop should be a vessel for people to come and go. And you watch them transition. When they're getting to the point that they got a 10, 12, $15,000 a month book and you still feel attached to 50% of that, and now you mad he wants to leave, fuck you as a business owner. You failed as a business owner to reduce your commission so much so that it would put him in a position to where he couldn't leave. Because the 20% on 10 bands is more than the 50% on 5 of those knuckleheads you just got from school. So keep him
Exactly.
around for the education that he brings to the team. Honor that 20% for the education and how he teaches the young guys how to sell product, how to negotiate it, how to sweep the floor faster, how to clean the bathroom, when to take the best breaks, where to do your marketing. The wealth and knowledge that senior barber brings to the table, that's why we got a command structure in the military. The sergeant that been there 5 years and been to war a few times, he's going to have a few more stripes because he's got more experience. Come on, I'm going to keep you alive. I'm going to show you how to eat out here. I'm going to teach you how to hunt.
That's it. Yep.
And that's what we
Now
got to
we
do
seen
in the
you.
barbershop.
We seen you out of the U.S. a couple times, bro. So what do you think is the biggest difference you've seen in the industry outside of the U.S.? Like I've seen you in Italy, Spain, and those type of things. Like,
Oh yeah, we've been to Mexico. We went to Puerto Rico. That's still, it's still the US, but again, that's that Commonwealth. We did Amsterdam Barber Society magazine. The shout out to them. They put me in the magazine. Shout out to Barber Society. I'm on a few pages in there. They sent me the edition. We were in the Netherlands.
Nice.
That was dope. And then we did Italy, and Italy was fun because Italy's one of the places that when you look at the historical data that just comes from there, when you think of fashion, food, cars, just architecture, music, tomato sauce, right? Pizza. You think of all the things that come from Italy. Barbering is uniquely one of those things there that's held in such high regard still. Everybody walks around in Italy like they're fucking doctors of hair and skin. You very seldomly will you see
See the
anybody
difference?
who
Wow.
doesn't present themselves like, I mean, when we went to the hair show, the people walked in like they were getting dressed to go out on night on the town. They had slacks, they had button-up shirts, they had one guy walked in like the Godfather. He had the fucking jacket over his shoulders, but his arms were free, and
It's
he's
like
He had the
watching me
jacket over the
do it.
jacket.
Yeah,
it's like
and so
barbershop. It's like it's a pride to be a barber out there. Like
yeah,
here,
like
like people
they
see
they
barbers is different. Like
right. In the communities there, these barbers are it. From the young
Yeah.
teenage guy who has all the influence with the young kids to the most senior. Even at the hair show, they honor the most oldest barber from their communities. And this old guy comes out there with his cape on and he's like,
That's
"Ugh,"
crazy.
like, and
Now,
they're
why do you
fucking
think
going
that is?
crazy.
Why do you think there's such a big difference between the United States and when you go out to Europe and how they
I'll
see
tell you.
barbers
I'll
there and
tell
how,
you
how
why.
people see
Hold on.
barbers
Let
here?
me let me let me bring on Elena. She's the other half of this business. She's the other half of my heart. She's the other half of everything that I got going on here. She's one of those people that brings a level of detail and attention and artistic. She's the you see, and that's what's crazy because on this team, Miguel happens to be the lead singer. I'm like the lead singer a lot of times, and so you really don't get to meet the team because the team ain't got time for all this other stuff that we got going on. They really focused on really delivering the things we got to take care of on a day-to-day basis and still have a life, you know,
Yeah.
it's a different ball game, but I'll let her tell it and I'll introduce her here so she can kind of, I think it's important that she explain it because when I go to Italy, there's things that I see, just immediately right out the gate that there are a lot more connection through the family. There's a lot more love. There's a lot more, they don't have drugs destroying the community and all these kids growing up without knowing who their fathers and grandfathers are. They really have a strong connection to the food and ingredients in that food, and then
Uh-huh.
connected through the family that then says, we want to raise you to be productive. We want to raise you to be, and now there's this level of just history and rich culture and just tradition that think about that. We got Puerto Ricans, we got African Americans, we got some of the cultures here in the US that come from, certain levels of destruction and broken homes that they don't have that same level of patience and professionalism and things that they should have as they get groomed through life. We're starting to get there now. People are starting to realize that, we have to make changes all the way down through the inner city communities if we really want to expect any change because I mean, it's crazy. You would never fly to Italy and hear that some kid jumped in a car, grabbed a fucking Uzi, and decided it was a good idea to spin the block. Like
Yeah.
that
That's
that's
crazy.
that's insanity. And that happens
That's
here and gets
crazy.
glorified in the music, it gets glorified in the way some of these people associate themselves. And then unfortunately that leaks into the barbering community because I know a lot of barbers that feel like they live in their wildest dreams as a dope boy, only they're selling a legal product.
Yeah. No, that's true. Because of things like that, for a long time, barbers, or the barbering industry was looked
I,
down upon. You know what I
I'm
mean?
gonna I'm gonna introduce I'm gonna introduce the COO. This is the chief operating officer, hailing from Milan, Italy. She speaks Spanish, she speaks English, she speaks Italian, she reads it, writes it. Every flyer you see, everything that you see that includes any type of artwork, even down to the design of the logo and how we quarterback that. Even that's another story. I mean, this she's right there, right in her position. She's right
Hi,
here.
everybody.
Let me get out of the way. Let me give her the mic and have fun, man, because you know she all right. I thought y'all was having fun with me. All right, man, I'm out of here.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Hey, how you doing today?
Hello.
How,
I'm
how
great.
you
I'm
doing?
great. Thank you. I'm actually not a good representation of the Italian style because I just came back from yoga. I'm sorry for the look. After
No,
all the
no, yeah.
talk now, look at
No, no, that's good.
that. But yeah, no. Going back to what Miguel was saying, definitely in Italy there is a level of not only culture because obviously it's a much older culture than the one in the US, um, but for that reason also we give a lot of respect to the value of things. To go back to a famous phrase, here they know the price of everything and the value of nothing. And that's what I
Yeah.
feel the most about being here. I'm from Milan, Italy. I've been here for quite some time now, so I had a chance to see the difference. And to answer your question from an Italian point of view, I can say that, yeah, people like to dress up for anything. I always tell Miguel that until I came here, I used to wear heels to go buy groceries, which is absurd. But now I'm always in flip flops. If my Italian friends know it, they're gonna take the Italian citizenship from me. But yeah,
It's a
anyway,
whole different thing.
yeah, it's different because we give, fashion and food and art, architectures are basic for us, are ingrained in our
Give them an
DNA. So
example of ingredients not allowed in Italy as far as food.
yeah, we have higher standards when it comes to
Exactly.
details, or especially in food, but in anything else. That's why the made in Italy is so it's got such a depth, right? Because everything is cured into details, and that's how I like. That's the way that I try to put my um, contribution into heavy too, because I pay attention to a lot of details. So when you see people around, they are dressed well, they come to a hair show and treats it as a big part of fashion. So
Yeah.
it's that I think that it's got a different feel when you go there. You really feel like your work is more appreciated because it's not just about how you get dressed, what brands. And I mean, we care about brands too there, but here it's a little different. It's less people listen to the music of an event, look how the lights are, but maybe pay less attention to the haircut because they're paying attention to see if they can gain more
All the other
followers.
flashy stuff they got
And
going
that's
on.
what
Yeah,
I've
I
noticed.
understand.
Say again?
So so you're saying pretty much that because of that, that's why they look at barbers and the barbering industry in Italy so different compared to here, correct?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. And again, I like the shows here. They are very well, not all of them, but some are very well organized, or they put what makes an expo a show. Um, but it's definitely less personal. Like you were saying
Yeah.
earlier, I heard you saying that even to create a team, there is a lot of individuality. And that's what I see in the culture here. There's a lot of individuality. So even if you go to a big show, there could be a million people, but the energy, it's not necessarily as warm. So, and that's what makes
Yeah.
the event. And I don't know if some of you are Latin, I heard, right? Someone is Latin there,
Yeah.
Puerto Rican or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about, even when it comes to the heat, right, of a room,
Yes.
or how it's felt differently, mostly for that reason.
And I also noticed too that a lot of people lose that culture when they come to this country because they try to fit in so much. You understand what I'm trying to say? So let's say, for example, I came from Mexico and
Hmm.
I only spoke Spanish and my kids only spoke Spanish. But once I put my kids into school and I try to learn English, that culture from back home, you lose some of that sometimes.
Hmm.
I've actually seen kids that go to school that forget to speak Spanish. They don't know how to speak Spanish anymore. And families that become so Americanized that they lose they lose track of all the culture and the
Culture.
values that they had back home.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the way everything is here in the United States.
People get used to it. They get used to like
Yeah.
so much of
No,
the
I
culture
can
over here.
understand. Definitely. I can understand what you're saying, and I can give you a personal example because um, our kids actually speak three languages. And the first language
Wow.
that I taught them it was Italian, because even if I
Okay.
was here, I couldn't have, I've always thought that it would have been fake for me. It wouldn't have even come out in English to talk to my babies in a different language that wasn't mine. So their first language is Italian. Then they learn obviously English because they live here, and then they started. Then they learn Spanish, and the others learning French. So they are polyglots, and but that's just a part of it. What I've always tried to do with them to keep my culture going was to tell them. I probably drove them crazy at times, but to tell them everything about my culture, everything.
Good.
And I
That's
feel the
amazing.
difference, and this happens with other Italians that I met as well. And I've noticed that with the Latin friends, so Spanish speaking people, because I have a lot of friends from the Caribbean, and they made the same mistake because they feel like if they don't teach English to their kids, or they don't try to be as Americanized as they can, they're not going to be accepted because they are already expats, they are immigrants, and so there is already that level of not feeling secure to be completely accepted. And in certain cases that's very felt from people. I didn't have that problem, but I'm sure I was just lucky. Or maybe it's just because I really have a kind of personality that make friends easily.
Hey, honey.
But other than that, yeah, we're
No, no.
running out, right?
I want you to give them a shout out in Italian. Send a shout out to the people who are gonna watch this on YouTube. Like, give them a little bit of the Italian swag, and I'm gonna tell you the difference between the Italian barbering culture and the
Yeah,
American
we want to hear it.
is that they use shears and straight razors. Here in the
That's the
US,
yeah.
you can make a living using clippers. Over there, they really don't execute with the clippers like we do. But if you could bring that level of education over there, you can be successful there too. So there's a market for everybody in every culture. So yeah, man, shout out to everybody who's tapping in.
In caso ci siano degli amici italiani, vi saluto e spero di vedervi al prossimo Expo. Okay, thank you very much, guys. It was nice talking to you.
Thank you for
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
you too. Thanks.
Yeah. Let me get on there. Yeah, man. So shout out to you guys, man. I'm telling you, when it comes to what we're doing as a culture, I think there's nothing better than traveling and seeing it firsthand. That's why this industry is global. That's why this industry is worth so much money. Because regardless of the language you speak, somebody's getting a haircut.
Yeah, no, 100%.
That's exactly what we mean. Like she was saying that like the people over there, even like how they dress, they have pride in what they're doing. Like that's why we're here. We want people to change the way they see us and the way like they think about barbers.
You know,
The
and
industry has to change.
I'm pretty sure that if you go to a barber shop out there, you don't see them in flip flops and pajamas.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right. And that's something that's just culturally how they move. And that's what we have to do. When you set the standard high, like Lamborghini, I don't care if you're a millionaire, get in line. There's a 3-year wait for a Lambo because they've created that culture. There's
Yep.
no Lamborghini commercials. You know why? Because the people who fucking drive them don't have time to watch television. So you'll never see a Lamborghini commercial. Come now down to the Lambo shop for 50,000 down and only 25,000 a month. You and the wife can cruise around the neighborhood.
Can you
No
imagine?
way, not happening.
You imagine that?
Yeah, not
That's true.
happening.
Wow.
You never see a Louis Vuitton commercial, or you never see they don't have to do that. You understand? Because when the quality's so good, I mean, why do you think we have so many barbers that exist in the United States that are commanding some of the most powerful salaries a month, and you don't know who they are? They don't even have an IG account because trust me, we were getting money before social media. Y'all just
Yeah.
finding out now. We've been knocking this back 80s, 90s. You could go all the way back to biblical times when the Egyptians were applying enhancement on themselves to separate themselves from the common man as they moved through town. So they used the dye roots to enhance. If you look at the old Egyptian movies, they
Yeah.
would enhance all the different features, all the different areas, right? So
And barbers existed back then too. Barbers were the ones that were grooming them. Barbers were the ones that were giving them the, what was that thing? If you look up, I think in the book, it's called a tonsure or whatever was the style that they had where they were tied up. They had their own personal barbers and all that. Yeah.
That's right. And so, and again, it ties right back to the medical profession. Hair and skin, the two largest cells in the body, bloodletting, teeth pulling, dentistry. It wasn't until the health medical team came in and separated the hair and blood in the room. They just, for sanitation issues. But if you you could be in prison and still get a haircut just due to the sanitation side of it, right? So barbering is everywhere. It literally is everywhere.
Yeah, it's true. I'm gonna check it over. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, man.
Nah, yeah, man. I see it's a whole different ball game out there. Like we love it, man.
Yeah, and you guys are gonna keep doing great work. Building a team is one of the hardest things in the world because every year you're gonna have to probably move a piece around. Somebody's gonna want to go play for another team. Somebody's gonna want to go live in
No,
another
of course,
state.
yeah.
And
Yep.
that's okay. You want to wish them well. If you're a business owner and your business is predicated on one person in that shop coming or going, then you need to get out of business because
No, facts.
when you build a team, if you lost somebody for whatever reason, the shop is still good. We're still going to take care of as far as I'm concerned, whenever I saw a barbershop disappear in the barbershop, whether I was an employee or the owner, to me, everybody else got a pay raise. Because now we're going to have to divide up his clientele and everybody's going to get another client or 2, 3 throughout the day, throughout the week.
Facts.
So I
we went through
the if a barber left, I knew I was gonna eat a little bit more for the next few weeks because those clients walk in and go, "Yo, where is he?" And you're like, "Yo, I don't know, man." You know where he's at. You don't even want to tell him. You're like, "Yo, I don't know, man. I think they deported his ass or some
He just
shit."
picked up and left.
But it's true. People come and go. You just gotta make sure you have like the right people and coming in or
ain't that crazy?
Building,
it's crazy. You could work there for a year or two, and the day you leave, the barbers are gonna treat you like, fuck him. Hey, he left. We got you in 20 minutes. We got you.
All right, so I'm gonna bring it back now a little bit. Let's talk about these shows that you go to. Now, as far as I know, I think you go to every single one of them.
Man,
right?
I wish I could go to every one of them.
I mean, pretty much
most of them.
Right. So my thing is, you don't just go to them and sell product. I've actually seen you pulling people out of the crowd, doing beard lineups, enhancing them, hitting them with the spray, showing them what it does, how to maintain it, doing demonstrations all day long, whether it's for one day or at the CT Barber Expo when you're there for 2 days doing the same thing. Talk about how much work goes into that.
Well, first of all, thank you for acknowledging that. I think a lot of times the average barber that interacts with me at the booth doesn't really pay attention to the details and the focus that has to generate and capture your attention within the first 30 seconds of you pulling up to the booth. When you're at a show and there's 400 vendors and all of them have gotten, and every last one of them have invested time, money, and energy into being at that show, you got to be able to present your product and deliver that product and speak on that product and create a level of confidence and consistency in that product throughout the day that shows them, this is worth implementing into your service when you go back home. And I'm going to show you how to increase the service ticket. I've been able to change the minds of millions that have said to me, Miguel, I never even thought color to be a viable business option because of all the horror stories I see on social media. And you really deliver the best quality the longest lasting, the most natural looking. I mean, we really wrap the whole process of color together. I give you the stencil, the brush, the flush, the warranty, the 2 guns, the 2 tanks, oxidation, preventive maintenance, everything and anything you need to know about delivering compression and how to maintenance your tools and be confident that you can deliver on a consistent basis, day in, day out. That's what we focus on, and we got it right, man. We really do got it right. Shout out to all the barbers using our color, because we're dealing with platform artists alike. We're dealing with the common barber who just punches that 9 to 5 clock, and I'm dealing with guys who are on some of the biggest company names in the industry that are using my color. But I get it. You wouldn't bring Adidas to a Nike commercial, so you got to rip the label off. I get it. It's crazy.
Now, like that. Now, talk about travel wise, man. Like, people don't realize how much work goes into setting something up like that. You know what I mean? Going to these places. Now, where are you located, and what is the furthest that you've traveled without literally packing your stuff and throwing it on the airplane?
I just drove to Vegas 36 hours by myself, nonstop. And then did the show, took 2 days, and then drove right back. And I'm gonna tell you, the shows are important because I don't look at the money that I make from the show. I look at the seeds that I plant. The math and the analytics suggest that for every barbershop out there, less than 1 barber actually attends a show a year. I mean, I think it's growing now with the publicity of it and the way, everybody's out there marketing it. But for every 10 barbers in a shop, there's less than 1 of them that actually attend the show per capita. So what does that mean? When I plant these seeds, those barbers take it back to the shops and now expose my product to 10 barbers, and then the sales go up and the excitement goes up, and we see a ripple effect every week after the show, 2 weeks after the show, and I'm still traveling, hitting shows, so I got ripple effects following me as I continue to ping pong around the country and around the world, just trying to deliver. But that's what it takes. It takes consistency, right? Just like your frequency of clients. You might have 2 clients, 4 clients, 6 clients, 8 clients, and then based on their frequency, you get to a point where every day you're servicing so many different clients, because by the time 2 weeks is up, you've seen another 100 clients between them. And now you just hit the repeat button, right?
Yes.
And as long as you're consistent, and everything is going the way it's supposed to be going, good. I got a lot of clients that said to me over the years, they said, Miguel, you keep traveling to these shows, and I love it because every time you come back, you introduce something new. Even when I go to the shows, I try to find a product that's going to add value to even my service as a barber. Yeah. And if I can do that and spike my ticket $5 every service there on after, in 1 weekend, I took a 4-year college student degree and got that same type of pay raise. $5 per cut, 8 to 10 cuts a day. That's $15,000 a year.
Yeah. Let's talk about adding services onto a haircut, right? So most people, all right. So let's say with enhancements, for example, right? With your product, what do you suggest? How would you suggest someone to add on the enhancement plan? Now, we talked about this before, how, maybe the first time you might do it for free.
Yeah, got
something
you.
like that. Hit 'em with it.
I always introduce something for free to my clients, because if they like it, they'll remind you the next appointment about it. So you ever got that client that said, man, I love that product you used on my hair, man. Where'd you get it? And maybe you bought it at the beauty supply, and you tell them, yo, go get the discount. Tell them you know me, you'll get a discount at 10%.
They want the same look and the same feeling that they had before. That's how it is.
So that goes back to being consistent. Going back to consistency.
It's
sometimes,
the same.
I've had a customer where I've hit him with the enhancement, and I do it on purpose. Next time he come in, I don't hit him with it. I'll wait. Okay, anything else? Oh, you're not going to hit me with that? Oh, yeah, of course. Just to see if that was something that they liked doing or what it was.
And that's when the conversation shifts. The first time I give it to you for free. The next time I don't even mention it. Exactly. When you remind me about it, I remind you about the price, and he's going to pay for it every time.
Yeah.
every time.
Now, aside from enhancements, you got these heavy towels, correct?
Yeah, we got heavy hot towels, and the towel pretty much provides the natural. Once that natural cut's complete, we wipe it down with the 360 heavy hot towel that gives you that full coverage to
That's
take
dope.
the service quality to the next level. But also, we wipe off the sweat, the grime, the hair, because not every barber is sinking their clients.
Everything.
So with this towel, it gives you the ability to use it at the sink to dry the hair because it's big enough for that. It's big enough to wrap any client's head and beard at the same time, exposing just the eyes and nose. And then if you add some like essential oils to the water, it really elevates the service because it adds that therapeutic aromatherapy scent to the towel, and then you blow dry them and get them ready for the color, and it extends the life of the color because we're applying it on the
Everything's
cleanest,
clean.
freshest skin, right? And now if the cut stays natural and I use the towel and go to the finishing products like mousse or gel or pomade and beard oil and then go to the register, the services increase. But if I go hot towel, then color, then finishing products, then the register, I just spike the ticket every time. Black mask peels, facials, nose and wax here, ear removal, hard wax removal. I mean, all these things spike the ticket.
What a lot, barbers, if you guys are not using a hot towel, you're not using a towel to shave your customer, when you haven't tried it or you haven't done it, I don't know why, but one, it's going to make your life a lot easier shaving somebody with a razor. Two, the customer is going to feel a hell of a lot better because you're not pulling them hairs out. You're not giving them razor burn. You're not hurting them physically. You know what I mean? You ever do, with just shave gel? Yeah, it's cool, but it's just, you got your air conditioner on in the barber shop. It's 65 degrees in the barber shop. You lay them back, you put some shave gel. That shit's cold as hell. But that's not a comfortable feeling for the customer.
It's what we
Right.
said the other day. It's like it's more of an experience that you're like providing and stuff like that
Well,
too.
I'll go as far as to say that when you're providing a high-end service, you're tapping in with all of the senses, the smells,
Yeah.
the contact, the sights, the sounds, the activity. Like
Everything.
you heighten all of it, the look, the smell, the texture, everything that gets wrapped up into that service. And the more senses you tap into and the cleaner you make it look, the higher price you'll fetch for that service. Your haircut is a product. Your haircut is a product that you sell, and as you refine that product and add other services to it, you'll raise the ticket price just like a restaurant. They add different items to the menu. You have to not only add those items to the menu and educate yourself on those items, but you have to display those items. The client only knows what he knows until he knows it. If the client doesn't know you know how to do a facial because you never put any type of advertisement up for it, he's never going to order it. And now that education went to waste.
Yeah. No, 100% right. No, 100% right. Well, that's true.
Yeah, and so I think as a whole, when we think about the business of barbering, we gotta stick to the basics. Let's get to the basics. Something like a hot towel is a towel you buy, you wash it, fold it, rinse it, repeat it into the hot towel machine, and every day it creates money, and you don't have to spend any more money to make that money. Right?
Yeah.
That's something that you wash, dry, and repeat every day, and those towels keep clocking $5 a service. That's how you make that extra money, and it only takes another minute or two. The color, it only takes maybe 5 to 10 minutes to apply it to the hairline and beard and dry it in. That adds $10 to the ticket. Now you add $15 to the ticket between the hot towel and the enhancement, then you add a $20 can of product sales. Now it went from 15 to add it to, we're at $35, and that's not including the haircut and beard price.
Well, if I had another $40 on top of that, that's $75 in your pocket right there.
And you're not going to sell every client on product. You're not going to sell every client on enhancement. But I still find a way that if I didn't give you the color, you bought the product. If you bought the product, you bought the enhancement. You don't know, but you do that so many times a day, 10 clients, 15 clients, 20 clients, that you don't have to get them all to buy product to make another $1,000 a month. If you're servicing 10 clients a day and you sell 2 cans of product at $20 a piece, that's a 20% target rate. that would suck in the NBA. You'd be the worst free throw shooter in history. But in the barbershop, 2 cans a day, 20% at the end of the month, that's still $1,000.
Balling.
Yeah, you balling. You know how many
Yeah.
haircuts you got to do to make another stack?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you did that by just passing it.
Yeah.
So
barbers or shop owners, if you guys listening, start selling products, man. Find yourself, like you were saying, something where you get, good margin. Reach out to some of these companies. Reach out to some of these companies. A lot of these companies I'll give you a discounted rate if you buy in bulk. Buy some in bulk, throw them in your shop, and give it a try. See how
I'll
much
tell you,
extra money
I
you guys
deal
can
with
make. You know
Immortal
what I mean?
NYC because the business is good. It's not just I could sell my client Suavecito. I could sell them any one of the brands that are out there. But for me, I'm gonna sell you something that's profitable for me. That's worth me taking the time to sell it. So with a can like Immortal, I get a $400 smell of Creed in a $20 can wrapped with a water soluble keratin based product that protects the hairline and hair, and it's non-comedogenic and doesn't clog pores. And when I tell my clients that, they've never been told anything like that by any barber that's ever serviced them before. So they go, "Wow, man, I'll take a can of that." Sounds good.
True.
I was just
Put
gonna
this
say that it doesn't
introduce.
have to be like your own brand or anything like that. It could be something that like makes sense, that you see the business behind it.
Right. I listen, I'm not selling a product unless there's good money involved in it. Why would you go into business just to
Right.
be upside down every week, every month, every year?
And it's the truth. And not only just that, too, you got to educate yourself on the product. Basically, you not just sell a product. Someone's going to ask you all that, but well, basically everything you just said, that's something that it probably doesn't even say that on the label. You got to do your own research, and customers appreciate that, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
You just gotta have an idea, like
Exactly. And I think it's important that we educate these young barbers because a lot of them don't make it. A lot of them come in hungry and passionate, but when you can't give them the tools to sustain, he ends up getting a second job or he ends up selling his tools on eBay because he thought he was going to get it popping,
No, it's
but
true.
he didn't know how to generate other revenue streams while he works on the repetition in a shop that's already got their clientele 90% booked.
word.
No, it's true. There's also some of these new barbers coming out of school. Not all schools, but lots of schools that teach barbering to some of these people. They don't show them how to create, a larger ticket, how to put more add-ons in. They don't show them how to promote themselves. They don't show them how to go out and actually get customers. You understand what I'm trying to say? They
I'll
prepare
tell you
them.
like this. I'll tell you like this. I was in the Marine Corps for a long time, and then I became a drill instructor, and I was making Marines, right? And so in making Marines, I had to understand, even though I had been to combat already and knew what they were going to be dealing with, I understood that I couldn't get you ready for combat in 90 days of boot camp. My job was to get you to the entry level where you had the instant obedience to and willingness to all orders, that you knew how to functionally fire that weapon from 200, 300, 500 feet, that you knew how to pack your gear, that you knew how to represent yourself with certain values and stand on these core values that that we preach about. And then when you get to the unit, they're going to teach you the stuff that specific to what it is your contribution to combat is, whether you're a tanker, a communicator, infantry, supply guy, whatever, right? So, I think sometimes, we can't look at the schoolhouses as a business that's going to get them prepared for the workforce. Instead, we got to be ready to receive that raw package and mold that person to what you think is necessary. And the truth is, they don't get the right educators, they don't get the right leadership, they don't get the right, and so bad habits get created. And now this barber's ping-ponging from shop to shop, and he can't get along with nobody, and he's wondering why his clients are jumping ship, because every couple weeks, every couple months, he's putting out another location. They got to drive 20 minutes in another direction. And so it's just bad habits that he's been, he's been taught. It's just bad habits, man. And for you to break that, it's one of the hardest things in the world because in his eyes, everybody else is the problem.
No, it's true. But once again, one of the most important things for people to realize coming out of barber school, right, is two things. Just because you graduated barber school doesn't mean you know it all. Okay. And two is picking the right barber shop. Okay. Um, so when you're out of barber school, you got your barber license, you're ready to go out and work in a barber shop. You're not going to pick a barber shop, one, for example, that's by appointments only. You're not going to go to a barber shop where you're not going to get along with anybody. You're not going to try to go to a barber shop where you don't like the vibe. All these things you got to take into consideration before you actually start working in the shop. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Absolutely.
Try to do some research, talk to the owner, do your interview with the owner, and not just
And
the
the
owner.
guys that work there too.
Talk to the guys that work there. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Some of the most successful barbers I've met in life didn't even give a shit about working at a barbershop. They just love cutting hair so much they were willing to throw down in the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, the studio, the hallway. Fucking yo, sit right here. I got you,
The
son.
grind.
Right. And
But,
so, that
those were probably
repetition.
those are the ones that didn't start off in school, right? Those were the ones
Right.
that were hungry. They were the ones that got taught in the barbershop. They're not the ones that got taught in school. You
Right.
understand what I'm trying to say? No, but
Right.
that's not for everybody. But you know what I'm talking about. So you go to
Right.
school, you're taught to lots of schools, not every single one of them. So if somebody's on there and they feel a type of way right now, but you go to a school, you're taught how to pass the test. That's their job, right? And
Hey,
just like you were saying
let's
before, once they get
let's
into a shop is where they really learn how to get down. You feel me? Like
absolutely. But
yeah.
let's think of this, right? The most
Mhm.
prestigious colleges in the world, or even the most prestigious colleges here in the US. You take Yale, Princeton, NYU. I mean, you name it, right? Even they have a failure rate. Not everybody who graduates from these Ivy League colleges land that multi whatever type of deal. We got
No, it's
homeless
true.
people that hold some of the highest degrees in the educational system this country has to offer.
Yeah.
And then what
No, it's
happens?
true.
They decide to want to go learn a trait like scalp micropigmentation. My boy Chris Herrera, the art of SMP out of DC, he's you need to get him on the show. You want to talk about raising the ticket? This guy's doing $4,000 a service in 3.5 hours. He punches $7 million a year in just service tickets alone himself, not to mention the two schools he owns in DC and New York. But I'm here to tell you,
He's the one that puts like all the banners in the shows.
Oh,
scalp
The
okay,
SMP
okay.
banners in the shows.
micropigmentation
I follow
scalp
him there.
micropigmentation is a big deal, but that requires
Yeah.
3-4 days of education. And now you can open up another vertical in your shop where I mean it's ridiculous that
And
what
didn't
we
you give
have
away? You
available is
gave away a
crazy.
whole right. All right. So we're gonna go back real quick. You had a barber
Expo.
expo competition. You actually gave away for free to the winner of one of the competitions a
SMP training.
SMP training. Correct?
I gave away 2 checks.
Well,
The traditional got a check and the freestyle got a check. $5,000
Both nice. I got
educational
you.
school seat to learn scalp micropigmentation.
yeah. Now,
Crazy.
so basically, you're giving away. You just gave away $7 million right
Free
off the
money.
rip, right off the rip.
Tell you,
Because
and
if
I'm gonna
that's the
tell you,
case,
Carlito from Florida, he won the other $5,000 check in Baltimore.
Oh yeah. Yep.
We got
yeah.
Chris Herrera to do the check in Baltimore. And I'm gonna tell you, Carlitos probably made about 20-30 grand in the last year. Every show we go to, he got a client to SME.
SMP.
And he's another one that I seen that he's been killing it. He's everywhere,
Yo, I'm gonna tell you a story. He messaged me on Facebook 3 years ago, and he said, "Yo, I'm down here in Florida. I'm in Tampa. I'm a barber from the Caribbean, from the Virgin Islands." I looked at his work and I said, "Yo, you should be competing, bro." He had never competed before. And he said, "Yo, well, I just ordered your enhancement, and I'm telling you, it's the best." He was one of the first people who started using my product in Florida. And so we linked up in PA because he had registered to compete for the first time using my color, and he's never looked back. I mean, he's won on every stage: Connecticut, Florida, PA, out west. He's winning
He's
everywhere.
everywhere.
Duplicate. He did duplicate. He won duplicate on
Yeah, he's
that's the
everywhere.
hardest competition as far as I'm concerned was a
Yeah.
duplicate joint in Connecticut.
Duplicate freestyle. He's always in there.
Yeah.
Yo, I got a lot of killers, man. I got this kid Torpedo out of Atlanta. He's nasty with it too.
Oh yeah.
He's
100%.
he's crazy. You know, Bo the Barber out of Las Vegas. He got a show coming up. Wrist Flick and Obsession, October 8th. They're using my color. These are guys that are winning countless trophies. Malu from Florida, he uses heavy. The movie Barbershop, Mr. Lofe, level 3, Platano Gucci, Mr. Freestyle. These are all cats that are using heavy, bro. A lot of times I don't get tags and mentions because, you know, there's business behind it. You know, Michael Jordan ain't gonna wear a pair of K-Swiss and then do a shout out in a commercial for him. He can't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course. I get it.
So, you know, I mean, we crippling the industry as far as colors concerned, and I don't have a big marketing budget. I don't sit here and blast money in every direction, try to get it out. I let the testimonies of the barbers speak. I let the testimonies of them billboards that you putting out in the street every weekend speak, and the money that's coming back. Let that speak. Let the money speak. Everybody's got a color. When I look across the board, I mean, there's so many different enhancement brands, and it's so refreshing when I get that message that says, "Yo, I've been using this, and that, and your shit is just powerful." Man, crazy.
So, but all that goes into the hard work you put in too. Like I was saying, you be at every single show that I've seen so far, and not just the big ones. You know what I mean? You go to the smaller shows. You're everywhere, bro. You know what I mean? So it's not like you don't put in the work, you know.
You gotta. I'm gonna tell you. Look at the most successful brands, right? When you think about your most successful brands that you respect, that are respected in the hood. It all starts in the hood. If them Jordans wouldn't be as valuable if niggas wouldn't kill each other for them.
Oh yeah, you're right. 100% right.
It's the same thing, bro. Us as barbers were so valuable to the community. When the guy decides to propose to his wife, he gets a haircut. The guy who's about to perform on stage gets a haircut. The guy who's a politician and about to go live on camera, he gets a haircut. The kid who's got a Friday night game and when he pulls up for the jumper, he got that thunderbolt the barber gave him. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
and it's not just not just with that though. Even right now in soccer and football, baseball, all these, you know, all these sports too. What do you see there? Hair color. You see designs. You get different types of haircuts. First fade. Mohawk.
Yo, the whole Puerto Rico baseball team is bleached out.
Right?
And then everybody started coming in like, yo, bleach my shit up. $50 extra.
Add it on the ticket.
Hey, look, there's a guy that cuts the Milwaukee Brewers. He's a barber. He just got contracted to cut the entire Milwaukee Brewers team. His name is Jep Perez. He's on Instagram too. I mean, this kid is nasty, bro. Flashy. His name is Flashy Faded on Instagram. Look him up and try to get him on your podcast and talk to him about, you know, tell him, yo, we interviewed Heavy, but he just got contracted to cut the whole baseball team because he's so diverse.
That's one of my dreams.
The black hair, the white hair, the straight hair.
To cut baseball players and stuff like that.
That's it. He's doing the whole baseball team. His name is Jet Perez at Flashy Faded on Instagram. He uses my color. He cuts some of the Milwaukee Bucks players too.
I don't know if you know the Juice. He's all the way there in Miami too. He cuts out the Marlins.
Listen, everybody needs a fucking haircut, even all the way up to the president.
Word.
Everybody needs a cut. You just gotta put yourself in position to get that referral. What are we doing to get referrals? Exactly. That's what it takes. What are you prepared to do to get those referrals? Social media, business cards. There's so many different ways, bro. There's so many different ways. A lot of my referrals just come based off the work.
Work and word of mouth, right? So what happens when You know, your customer, you give him, you give him a blurry skin fade. He goes back home, and his people are like, "Yo, who gave you a haircut?"
Yeah,
So
tell them
referrals and word of
right
mouth.
away.
That still to this day, back then, that's what it was, right?
And
And still
that's
to
when
this
we're
day, I think
supposed
that's
to
your
get the
best,
pay
your best form
raise.
of business. You say that
That's when
again?
we're supposed to get the pay raise, right? People always say,
Yes.
when should I raise the ticket on my client? Well, if I charged you 50 and after 6 months to a year you refer somebody to me, he's gonna get extra $10 on the ticket. That's where I get my pay raise. So now when that client that referred you to me calls you and says, "Yo, he charged me 60. I thought he said it was 50." Well, I've been going to him for about a year, bro. I told you he's nice though. He's gonna come anyway because he called you. And now
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm getting a pay raise with every referral. I add $5 or $10. The more excited you sound to get in my chair, the more I'm gonna add to that bitch.
So think about it, guys. Everyone that talks about, oh, wait till you're booked out, wait till you're booked out. Like, yo, when you get that new customer, that might be the
When
right
I
time to
get the
start
new
raising your prices.
referral, I add $5. Cause for me, fuck it. You called me anyway.
Yeah. That's something a lot of barbers ask, when should I raise my prices? A lot of people say, oh, when you're booked out a couple of weeks in advance
Yeah.
or at least 6 months, then raise your prices $5 and do this or do that.
Comes with time too.
Think about what he just said though. You get a referral,
Exactly.
that customer, normally pays $35, you charge them an
Hey,
extra 40, 45.
if you get a referral this week, add $10 to the ticket. I guarantee you he won't have a problem. Because you already come recommended. Think about this: 90% of 100% of the walk-ins walk in blinded. They don't even know what kind of service they're gonna get until you surprise them with your ability. Imagine
Facts,
now
facts.
you were able to bypass all that, and it only cost you $10 more. It was worth every penny.
Yeah. Fact.
But we don't think about it like that. We so desperate for the clientele. We're like, yeah, 50, 50. Okay, I'll see you Thursday at 3 o'clock. No way. Fuck no. I'm going to apply the business of barbering and know that you called me and I'm going to eat that shit up. It's different when I'm handing you a business card and I'm trying to prove to you I'm a good barber. And then now the referral comes in because you've seen the work. Now you know what time it is. You know my shit is hot and you can't wait to get in the chair because you got plans this weekend. So you're going to pay the extra $10, motherfucker.
Word.
Keep it spinning. Keep the chair
That's
spinning.
it. That's it. That's it. I bust them every time.
Word.
That's how I got to
Yeah.
$100 a cut. My referrals
That's it.
kept going up.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
And you
true.
see, listen,
Nice, right.
I want you to think about this. The person who can afford a 50, 60, 70, 80, $100 ticket, he's hanging out with people who can afford the same fucking ticket. If you broke, you hanging out with
Word.
broke people. If you got money, you're
Exactly.
referring me to the niggas who got money. So I'm ready to do
Mhm.
business.
Now let me ask you a question, right? How do you feel now for you it's a little different because you got your own little spot. You do it in your crib, in your office there, you're cutting hair, right? But how do you think some of these customers feel, for example, if they're paying a barber $100, right? And they're walking in the barber shop and they're sitting right next to somebody paying bucks and you know, you got the little kid screaming and crying in the background. You got the one dude talking about and cursing and this and that. Like how do you feel about, how do you think these customers feel? And what do you think these barbers do to get them to kind of still come to them for $100 in a haircut, in a barber shop?
Well, it's all in the service you provide. If I'm a client and I'm paying $100 a ticket, when I look
Yeah.
to chair number one or chair number three and I'm in chair number two, I can see the difference through the mirror. I know that the service provider has got the level of experience to command that type of pay. Now, I'll be honest with you. If a barber can execute a haircut on a toilet seat or in the kitchen, he can execute a haircut anywhere because as
Mhm.
much as I love the barbershop, it's the barbers that make the shop. The
Yes.
shop is just the vessel that
Mhm.
brings the people in. But unless you got barbers, ain't nobody coming in there. And the people that come in there are gonna walk
You
out when
know,
there's nobody to take care of them. So I base it on experience. If I'm the shop owner and you tell me your haircut's $100, you better show me $100 service or $100 haircut. If you can't, then I'm gonna tell you, yo, this ain't the right shop for you. Maybe you should open a suite because I don't see $100 service and you're ruining my business. You got to know that
so
all
my real
money ain't good money as a business owner.
So my real question was, at what point, or do you feel that at any point, once you get to that point where when you're charging $100 or $75 a haircut, do you feel that that barber should take it to the next level?
And what is the next level? You know, some people that are
Well,
charging 75 to $100, some of them are trying to get to 200, 250 mobile cuts. They're trying to cut celebrities and ball players at 500 a cut. You know,
yeah.
there's, I mean, there's a market for everybody out there. And if you have a barber that's cutting $7,500 haircuts, he needs to be the educator in the shop. He needs to be paying the lowest amount of commission. He needs to be paying the lowest amount of booth rent, because you want his expertise to then you want to take him and navigate him in a way where he's helping those barbers around him grow and figure out how to get their service tickets up to 70, 80, 90, $100, doing all the extra things he's doing during his service. I know a barber that charges $100, but as soon as you sit down, he plugs your ears, he plugs your nose with wax. He puts a black mask peel. He starts
Yeah.
fading. He starts edging. He starts clipping. He rips, he pulls, he cleans. He hot towels. He enhances. He dries. Finishing products, extra product sales. Gets to the register and he's at $120 in 45 minutes to an hour.
So you have somebody, so you got somebody in your shop, right? That's doing that, charging, going above and beyond and providing such, a good service. Um, you don't feel that, all right. So maybe as a shop owner, you should tell sit down with him, give him a little bit of a break, and try to get him to instill some of those habits into the other barbers as well.
But let me
Just
let
what
me
you're
ask
saying.
you this. In your community, right? In your
Uh-huh.
community, you have people who make between 10 and 30,000 a year. You have people who make between 30 and 50,000 a year. You have people between 50 and 100,000 a year. You have business owners that make $500,000 to $1 million a year. You have all these different people in your community. So you should have all those different people in your shop. This guy's fresh out of school. He's going to take care of the 10,000 to 30,000 a year because they can afford him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah,
let
yeah.
my client's budget dictate my price. If I believe I'm a $60 haircut, $50 haircut, then that's what it is. And trust me, there's clientele that can afford it and that will respect it if the service matches the price.
Yeah, I get it. Okay. Now, let's say you're a shop owner, right? And you got that person that charges $100 a haircut and does walk-ins, but yet tries to charge $100 on your walk-ins. How you feel about that?
Well, again, depending on the service, that's what warrants the price. If I'm doing a bald head with a beard, then that's not $100. If he just wants a beard shave, that has a price. I can't just put $100 on every service because that's not ideal. If it's a haircut, beard, enhancement, towel, all of the things that you're going to get a full service, that might be $100. And I'm going to explain that to you. And I'm going to educate you on what enhancement is. I'm going to show you before and after pictures. I'm going to do my best to have trust me, if you're at an 80, 60, 90, $100 service, then chances are you have one of the best consultations in the world and you've refined it over 10, 15, 20 years. If I sit you down and say, yeah, it's just $100 a haircut, take it or leave it, get the fuck out, that's one thing. But if I say, look, I provide color options, I do a hot towel treatment, I do nose and hair removal, I get into I do waxing, I do threading, I do this, I do that, now the client goes,
No,
okay.
adding the services, yeah. No, I get that. But let's say, you got that one barber that charges $100 by appointment or $100 and your shop prices are 50 or whatever the case is, and he's trying to do that to your walk-ins. Then how would you handle that?
Well, then I would have to explain to him that, you're trying to gain this person's business and prove to him that you have $100 haircut.
Yeah.
If he doesn't want to sit in your chair for $100, regardless on how nice you are with those tools, then we have the right person for you over here at this price point. Obviously he's at that price point because he really commands a good service and the reputation he has within the community. If he's charging $100 a haircut, he shouldn't have time for a walk-in. If you're charging $100 a haircut and you got time for a walk-in, you're misjudging your price because at $100
Thank
a
you.
haircut,
Thank you.
at $100 a haircut,
Yeah, don't worry.
you built your clientele to the point where even after you lost half of your clients, the ones that were willing to pay $100 a ticket are still keeping you busy
It
every day.
only makes sense. Exactly. Yeah.
If you're
You
not
know,
busy every day and you're charging $100 a haircut, you're at the wrong
you
price
shouldn't be
point.
charging $100 a haircut.
The
Exactly.
demand isn't there.
Yes.
And
Okay.
so as a business owner, I wouldn't allow him to cut walk-ins just so that I could watch him drown even faster and prove to himself that you're not worth $100. You can't touch my walk-ins no more, motherfucker.
You know, and that goes back to where there was a conversation. That's kind of why I asked you, right? Because it's like there was a conversation, the same conversation that they were having on the live last night. That I was just kind of like, well, hold on a minute. You know, you can't. How are you going to have somebody that says, "Oh, just because I charge $100 a haircut to take a walk in, and then try to charge them $100 and be all right with that"? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, if it's your
Right.
appointment, and
Your
if it's
people
your
or something
appointment,
like that.
and you're
Well,
charging
that's
whatever for your
that's an
haircut,
easy
you're
fix.
adding your services, then that I can understand. But just someone straight out this, because you don't want to cut them because you charge $100 a haircut, that makes no sense to me.
Well,
No.
you
You,
see,
you understand?
that's what's wrong with the booth rental shops. When you running and
Yeah.
operating a booth rental shop, he feels like you shouldn't have any say on his prices, which he's right because he's just renting that space, right? But when you
Yeah.
have a commission shop, they have a menu on the wall. The haircut's 50, the beard is 10, enhancement is 10 more, hot towels 5, straight razors 5, product sales start at this price, design start
Right.
at this price. And now the client can build his own $100 ticket instead of being
Yeah.
negotiated into some bullshit for $100 because he thinks he's popping on social media.
Yeah, no, 100% right. That was my point. My point
Right.
was like, all right, that's something that you
No,
can't
you just
as a
don't.
shop owner, you can't as a shop owner, you just
No,
can't,
here's what
it's
you can
hard.
do though. Here's what you can do. What is the average price of a haircut in your shop today?
Just a regular haircut, no service is $30.
$30. So let's
Yeah.
just say I got a haircut, beard work, and that's
Haircut,
natural. No color, no nothing, just haircut and beard. What does that
that's
cost?
40.
That's 40. And the fact that
Yeah.
you're a walk-in means that you want somebody to squeeze you in, even though you know that most of the barbers are appointment-based here, right?
Yeah.
So you want me as a business owner to do the walk-in a favor. You're the walk-in, you walked in, haircut and beard, average price ticket is $40 for just a natural cut. They start, right? And so you need to have a sign that says walk-in, walk-ins, walk-in haircuts start at 50 because you're an inconvenience today. Because all my barbers are booking on a platform that you refuse to download, that you refuse to abide by. You want to continue to walk in and wait for somebody to get to you before that inconvenience is 50. The baseline haircut and beard, $50, right? Now if that barber gets you in the chair and your haircut and beard is $50, but I'm experienced, I know how to do color, I know how to do facial, I know how to do a black mask peel, I know how to add the hot towel and everything else, I can try to upsell you during the consultation because you're a walk-in. I want you to be comfortable that I know what you need from a service standpoint. You want a ball fade, comb over, keep the beard high, keep the mustache edged up, trimmed up, whatever, good. But now would you like some color? What's that? Here's some before and after. Do you want a black mask peel? What's that? I can get all those blackheads and shit off your nose. Do you pick the product you want me to finish it with? Oh, wow, you sell that? Yeah, we carry it too. Okay, and we start building the ticket from there. But if a
No,
walk-in walks in,
that's the way to do it. Like I get it, building the ticket. That's freaking amazing. That's the best, that's how you would build your service. And that's why we have everything kind of broken down to where it's a little bit, $5 more for this, $10 more for that, so on and so forth, so they can build a ticket, right? But so
you should have a walk-in baseline price. I got a
and
sign on the
that's
wall.
what I'm talking about.
If
That's
you're
what
a
that is.
barber,
That's
you gotta pull your barbers in and say this. If you're using a platform to book your appointments and for some reason you got holes in your appointment book and you want to cut my walk-ins, then
this is the price for the
this is the
then you
price.
have the price
And
list for
then
that.
you
Correct.
got the potential to build it by adding all the extra shit. But he doesn't know you're the hottest barber on Instagram. He could give a fuck less.
Yeah, that's that's where the ego and the
Also part of
them being individualized comes into a point where it's like, okay,
Well, the way you humble
so
them is simple. The price for walk-ins is on the wall. The price for walk-ins is on the wall. If you don't want to abide by that price, don't cut the walk-ins. You're $100 a cut. You should be booked.
no, yeah, 100% right. You're charging $100 a haircut because you've been doing it for a long enough time that you built your clientele to pay $100 a haircut. You understand what I'm saying?
You see, I'll tell you the difference on why I charge what I charge. I just don't have the time anymore to stand 10, 12 hours a day. Because of the business side of what I'm doing, I don't have the luxury of 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day standing on the mat. I got to get my money in 4 to 5 hours. So with the limited amount of availability that I have, right? And the more rare something is, that drives the price. So the more rare my time is, you're going to pay for that.
exactly, and that's when it comes in that you said that we gotta educate the clients when it comes to the tickets, the products, the this and that.
I mean, let me
So it's
ask you,
important to talk about that.
we spoke the other day for a little while, and you've had some time between the time we spoke to today that we actually did the podcast. Have you interjected any of those things that we talked about and seen a difference, maybe a little bit?
No, of course, if you talk to them and you explain to them and try to get them to buy a product and that they know the difference and they see the results, it's way different. Of course.
Yeah, and that maybe N.Y.O, you can answer to this too, but we spoke the other day, and then you called me and you said some of the barbers already started implementing some of those strategies in their consultation. Can you speak on that?
All right, so we spoke the other night about pushing product, basically, not just like haircuts, but adding services and selling products. We had I sat down with a couple of the guys. Now I have probably I have pomade, I got aftershave, 3 different waxes, facial scrubs, so on and so forth, right? So let's say with the facial scrub, when someone does a hot towel and they try to upsell a facial scrub or a facial, that's something they can add on the ticket too. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can show them, have them smell it. Um, uh, at the end of every service, not all barbers style hair. Okay, not all barbers put product in the hair after they're done with the
Beard and stuff.
haircut. Not all barbers put beard oil in. Um, so basically, we spoke the other night. We were kind of like, look, grab a couple products that you would put in somebody's hair, and don't even try to sell them on it. Just go and say, okay, which product would you like me to style your hair with? Open them up, let them smell it, let them touch it, let them, do whatever he
Yeah,
wants to do with it.
everything. Yeah.
Once he picks it, you put it in his hair. The next thing is probably that comes out the customer's mouth is, listen, you sell
sell
that?
that?
Where can I get it?
That looks amazing. Yeah. How do I
Lo and
maintain
behold,
this
that
look?
you have something there.
And
And
so,
that's literally
so
making money without raising your prices, like you said the other night.
And you
I
don't
don't
look like
have
you're
to
trying to
take
push
on
something on
any more
everybody.
clients, and I'm making more money.
Exactly.
Yeah. And you don't seem like you're trying to push it on people too, because sometimes people will just say no because it seems like you're trying to push it on them. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to
no,
say?
I
That's the gem of
introduce
the
it.
year.
Right? Wasn't it so smooth to just say, pick the one you want me to finish it with? And now that's
Exactly.
going to open up the dialogue.
Mhm.
That's the gem of the year right there.
And the same
He
thing like
loves
even
that
with the
one. No, he
alcohols,
loves that one.
Nah, it was dope the way you put it. I was like, yo, but sometimes you need that other person to kind of someone's the way someone else sees
People will
everything,
tell
someone
you,
else's perspective.
yeah, people will tell you sell product, but they don't teach you how to negotiate it. So
Yeah,
you wait to the end of the
100%.
service to put it in and try to talk about it, and he's out the door. But if I introduce it in the beginning when you're excited to be there and you're ready to get this service because you know how good the cut is, oh, by the way, you got product too? Oh my God, I've been looking for something. I've been at Walmart struggling.
Mhm.
Keep
I
buying it.
actually even with the powder, with the powder we have here, I sell powder. The powder that you would clean up with afterwards.
Tester
I have customers that come in just to buy the powder because they love the way the powder smells. You know?
And if you focus on the product sales, regardless of the haircut, you'll always make enough money that you could keep that second job in your back pocket.
Yeah, 100% right. You know, even with the alcohol, you hit them with like a good smelling alcohol, they're gonna be like, "Oh man, what's that?" You
That's
know,
perfume. That's not alcohol. That's what I get every time.
you know what I mean? And then they're like, "Oh, where do I get that at?" Oh, we sell
Right.
some here.
Let me
You know
ask
what I
you,
mean? Like
how many barbers are in your shop?
nine,
And how many of them are
nine
using
barbers and one cosmetologist.
and how many of them are spraying color?
Two, I think
Eight,
seven, because
seven,
heavy and
yeah,
And
seven
seven.
of
how
them,
many of them are spraying heavy out of the seven?
all seven.
That's crazy. That's amazing. You see,
Yeah, here, look,
because
I'm gonna go around right now. Let me see.
Go get the bottles.
yeah, it's crazy.
I'm not
That's
going
dope.
through these. Oh, look, quick. Look.
Look at the trophy right there too.
I see the trophies. Yeah, there's bottles everywhere. And so that's what's important because those seven barbers are raising the ticket prices. And I know you
Yeah,
guys are I know you guys see the difference. So it's all education, man. And education is one of the hardest things to do in this industry when you have an industry that lacks education, that runs from education. When you talk about an industry
Definitely,
that
definitely.
has a high school dropout rate of over 50% and a felony conviction rate of over 60%, it is hard to push anything that suggests education because you know, anything that's ever been presented to them with the word education just truly hasn't worked out for them. So we have to find other ways to get creative in how to spark those conversations of business and spark those conversations that lead to just deeper thinking about the business we're in.
yeah.
Wow.
No, I agree with that 100%.
Deep.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, fellas, I got to get going soon, but this was
Yeah, man, this
definitely
is
a
dope.
good conversation, man.
Yeah, man, I liked it, man, and thank you again for coming on. This is dope.
Nah,
Yeah,
we thank you for
anytime.
everything, for all the education, all the gems, man, and we gotta do it again.
Yeah,
I have
listen,
people on here that
listen, we need to do this. We need to do this at the shows. You guys need to go with wireless mics and go from booth to booth. I
We
see a lot
got
of
you.
I see a lot
We
of
ready for that.
podcasters. I see a lot of podcasters setting up at the shows now with a booth, but but
oh
that's
yeah,
hard because you really don't get that activity. I can't
it's the
take
noise.
20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but you guys need to do that at the shows with wireless mics and do your interviews and much love and success to you both. You guys just worked the full day and took the time to have me on your show, and I'm honored and I appreciate it. And it's
No,
things
thank
like
you
this
for
that
the
help
two
the
hours
brand
that you've
grow.
been here too.
No,
Yeah,
man, thank you
man.
for taking the time and doing this too, man. For real.
Wait,
I know you
next time
busy as
I'm
all
up
hell
there in
too.
PA, I gotta come out, man. I think you guys
Nah,
should
pop
host a
up,
little
pop up.
local barber battle in your shop.
Yeah, those are all little things in the
Ideas.
making eventually.
Yeah.
You
I
know.
think you should host a small one and send the winner to Connecticut to one of his categories.
Yeah,
Right.
or yeah, one into the categories, or sell them well, like you said,
Or
with
you win.
classes.
You win at this show and it gets you into Berks County.
Yeah,
All of that's
Yeah.
coming up.
But I think honestly, man, as you guys continue to do your podcast, I think you're gonna continue to get barbers that want to gravitate to what you guys are putting together from a fundamental sense. And if you just
Word.
open your doors even once a month and do free education for these barbers in the area, they'll go back to their shops going, "What am I doing here? I need to be over there with them." Imagine if I was there every day, not just one day a month.
no,
Put
no,
out
it's
some
true.
donuts, put out some coffee, put out some snacks, make them feel comfortable, give them a free class, and you'll be surprised that those same barbers that come for the free education will be the same ones that knock on your door looking for a job when shit don't work out across the street because they could tell even out of that one day a month that they spend with
The
you for those
difference.
it's a whole nother vibe that they feel like they want to be a part of. And so trust
Of
me,
No, it's
course.
true.
Of course.
you look at Vic Blends. Vic Blends used to cut celebrities in Atlanta. Now he does free haircuts on the street and he's richer than he's ever been. When you give, you receive. When you invest,
Exactly.
it grows. When you reach out, it returns. And so you guys reaching out
I
to
think
me,
it's
I think it's
also.
gonna.
I
Mm,
think that, like what you're saying. I think it also has to do with when you do something good without looking for nothing in return,
Yeah.
and you do it out of the kindness and the goodness,
Comes from the
without
heart.
because it's something you want to do. Good things come back to you. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
I've met a ton of barbers that said, "Yo, I offered free education for the barbers around here on a Monday or Tuesday in the evening for an hour or two, and we end up staying here 3, 4 hours talking and vibing. I mean, it turns into almost like a little expo. And
Yeah.
then after a couple months, those same people wanted to come work with him. They just loved the energy, they loved the atmosphere, and they were like, "Wow, you guys really got it right over here."
Yeah, no, man. But
That's how it is.
once again, thanks for taking the time and doing this, man. It
Yo,
means a
man,
lot.
I
Thank
appreciate you
you.
guys. What's next for you guys? Where you guys gonna be at next?
As far as podcasting,
Shows, shows, or
shows,
Jersey
Jersey
yeah.
Shore,
Shore, we got Jersey Shore coming up at the end
Philly.
of October. We'll
I
be in
got to
Philly
get
in
with the
November.
organizer. He messaged me today, I think it was. He wants me to call him, that Jersey Shore organizer. I'm still debating whether or not to go. I got so many. This Sunday I'll be in Charlotte, North Carolina, and that's gonna be a big one. Barber Fest down there. Shout out to Dame Dollar. He's gonna be out there. There's so many people pushing Coop Cuts 95, Cocoa Clippers. Just so many people that have been
Send me the
supportive.
recap. Send us a recap.
Yeah, definitely,
Come
man.
out there.
Definitely. But we're definitely
Word.
gonna do this again, fellas. I appreciate you, man. You guys are capturing me early in my journey,
We
and
thank
I
you
think
too.
as we continue to grow, you're gonna say, "Man, we had him on the show years ago, and now look at where he's at." And then I'll be able to say the same as to where you guys
Word.
are and where you guys are going. And that's what's the beautiful part of the journey. We're all in our own individual lanes, but we're all moving. And so,
Moving
you know,
forward, yeah.
keep focusing on winning, man. That's it. Just every day winning.
No, same to you, man.
And you see, you may lose. Like I always tell people, success isn't linear, right? Success just doesn't go straight up. Success is one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down, 2 days down, 2 days up, 3 days down.
A hard
But
line. Yeah.
when you zoom out over 5, 10, 20 years, every day it went like this, but throughout those years, it's climbing and going off the charts. And so that's success. And
That's the type of bar we want.
yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all again, man, and good luck to you guys. I'm gonna stay in contact with y'all. Y'all already know how to find me.
And thanks to your wife for taking the time too to get on here. Also, you
Yeah,
probably put her on the spot real quick.
I tell you, if there's any advice I could give a barber out there, it'd be this, man. And this has nothing to do with barbering. You pick the wrong woman, and you'll spend a lifetime in misery. You'll never grow. You can't grow. You're too frustrated, too stressed out. There's too much bullshit always going on for you to ever have just a minute of patience and a concise, clear thought. So for the barbers out there, male, female, or other, whichever one you decide to check off, I'm gonna tell you, if you pick the wrong fucking partner, you'll spend a lifetime in misery. You pick the right partner that wants you to grow, that wants to invest in you, that sees the potential in you, that wants to nourish you and develop you in the process too, man, you'll live one of the best lives ever, and you didn't need a lot of money to do it.
No, very true, man. All right, man. But yo, you get some rest.
Take care. Again. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Man.
Thank you all. 6 people tapping in here on YouTube too on the live.
Word. Thank you, man. I appreciate y'all, man. All right, man. I'm out of here.
Get on that Jersey Shore and get on that Philly one, man.
I'm gonna be at Philly for sure, November 12th. Okay. MLB, Nori West. We already locked in. He's gonna have an enhancement category he wants me to sponsor.
That's tough.
Yeah, so we on that. All right, fellas. All right, I don't know how to close this out, so I'm just gonna
take care.
All right, yo.
All right, good night.
Out of here. All right, peace.